going on, Dean?
Not a whole lot. Just getting everything finalized, getting everything ready.
No, that's right for the finals.
Yep, getting ready.
Yes, or I'm always ready for the finals.
Well, hopefully after today and Friday will be even more so.
My check right now to make sure nobody texts me during classes. I know somebody trying to text me after while I'm in class.
Yeah, I still get texts from my wife, even though she knows my schedule, and I'm like, come on. Sometimes she'll call me. I'm like, it's in the middle of class. What are you doing?
Wow.
Trying to get me in trouble.
How's your family doing?
They're hanging in there. Starting to wear down on us. Not being able to take them out and go places because we used to be big on that, going out walks and going to, I don't know, just going downtown or just going somewhere and doing something, but not anymore.
Well, sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, we'll get back to normal one day. All right.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah. Let's see. So make sure that you are signing in. Don't want to miss anybody there. And we'll go over some few things real quick and then proceed on to the more interesting bits, I guess. So test number 4 is up and it is due, it closes this Saturday evening at 11:59. So please make sure, I would have done it already, but I would not put that off because things are going to start to come faster. Let's see. With all of that, I added a new attempt at test number 3 for some people who, for reasons, missed the other attempts. So this is a gimme for you. If you had already taken test number 3 and you're happy with your grade, don't have to worry about it. But if you take it just because you want to, that's fine too. Won't count against you. But make sure that you are doing test. I have a few people who are very lacking in all of this stuff, and we're getting close to the wire here, guys. So you need to be online doing your stuff. If you, for some reason, you need to go on and check to make sure that you are happy with how everything is going on that, because let's see, student view, and I'll show you how to do it. I'm trying to get everything added to Ginzabar, but people keep throwing other paperwork stuff at me, so that's a process. So this is what your thing looks like right now. You can go to My Assignments and you can see your score on current, past, whatever. So this is everything that's up. And you can also look at your grades, and it will tell you, everything about, what you've made on each entry specifically. So make sure that you are happy with your grade, and with how things look in there. Not everything is technically due yet, but some people have a lot of empty spots, we'll say, and need to shore those up as soon as possible. Okay, so let's look at, where did my thing go? Just had it up. Okay, so for the final exam, I'm going to go through the overview first, with all the rules and all that kind of stuff. And then we will open the floor for specific types of questions. If you have any concerns about the test itself, about things that would be on the test, that's a very important thing to get across. So if you got questions, these are the time to ask. So the test will be timed. Obviously, you have 150 minutes to complete each attempt. Do not open an attempt unless you're ready, because the timer will start as soon as you open it. I'm going to be, the 150 minutes is your normal 2 hours plus an extra half an hour for whatever, if there's any issues you need to resolve, whatever, you've got extra time. So you will have 2 submissions per question, and you will have 2 normal separate test attempts. And I will take the higher of these 2 as your grade. Again, this is not something that most people do. So, I mean, if you can't do it with 2, there's no reason to think that 3 or more is going to make a difference. So these are your 2 attempts. Use them wisely. You're welcome to optionally submit pictures or scans of your work for partial credit. This would need to be this. So you got to submit it like right after you're done with the test. If you submit it, a couple of hours or days later, it's not going to work. Tests will be opening either tonight or tomorrow morning. Like I said, there's some other stuff that I wanted to get out earlier, so I'm kind of putting that ahead of it. So if it's not up until tomorrow morning, use whatever time you have to make sure that you've done homework or tests or whatever. So it will go up sometime tonight or tomorrow morning, and it will be up through next Tuesday at 11:59 p.m. These stars mean unless you are a graduating senior, in which case it must be done by Sunday night because grades are due Sunday morning. So just because your the dates don't say 5/3, if you're a senior, you are special, so you have to abide by special rules. So please don't forget that. There's not going to be much leeway because I've tried to extend everything out as much as possible. So there's not really anywhere else to go. Again, as I've stated in the past repeatedly, I highly, highly suggest that you use Chrome or Firefox. While I cannot make you, there's no way for me to do that. It is in your absolute best interest to not use Safari or Internet Explorer. I have seen a few issues with Safari, mainly just because of the way its security and permission systems work. It causes some issues with this software. But you should almost never use Internet Explorer unless you are forced to. It's just a bad idea. Internet Explorer it's bad. It's so bad that it's an online joke how bad it is. So keep that in mind. Technically, I can't make you, but it's just going to cause you issues. And if you ignored my warning, there's nothing we can do about that. I also highly suggest taking tests during the middle of the day between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. so that you can jump into my office Discord and ask me questions. The link I have provided here, and again, I'm sending this out, this document. My Discord ID is right here. And when you open that link, let's see. It'll take you something that looks like this. So we have general text channels. We also have, you can private message me. If you click on somebody's name, you can type out a message. You can add pictures or files or videos just by dragging and dropping them. As far as text stuff goes, you can also just jump into the voice channel. So if you just click on it, click on Dr. Dean's office, it will put you into that voice channel. And then you can just talk, whether it's on your computer, it will use your computer's microphone, or if you're using your phone, it will just act like a any other calling software. Now, the nice thing about this is you can turn on video chat and screen sharing with this system, and it's all free. There's no limits to it. It's great software. I would prefer to use this over Zoom, but Zoom is the one that they wanted us to use, so that's what we're doing. But I'm going to be sitting in there all day. I'll either be doing paperwork, sitting at the computer, or I will have at least my phone attached to it. So I will be in there all day the next few days. So if you take the test during the day, during those times, you can get quick, easy help. as opposed to if you take it at midnight and you send me a message saying, Dr. Dean, my thing's not working. Can you help me? I'm old. I'm not up at that time. If I am up at that time, I'm bouncing my daughter or something who's screaming in my head off and won't be able to help you either. So again, I can't make you, but, or I guess I could theoretically, but I'm allowing you the freedom to do it whenever you want. But do it wisely. Highly suggest taking the help that I'm offering. So with all that, remember to save your work if you haven't submitted anything. In the test versions of stuff on here, they take your, it looks exactly like a, what am I trying to say? Looks like a regular WebAssign assignment, but there are extra buttons, not submit. There's also a save button. What save does is if you put an answer in the space and then click save, it will not submit it, so it won't, check to see if it's right or wrong and, either give you credit or mark it wrong. But it will put it in that place for safekeeping in case you want to put an answer in, you're not quite sure about it, you're kind of hoping you have time to come back later, but you want to make sure that there's something in there, because when the test closes, it's done. So having an answer in there that could be right, the software will look at it and say, okay, yeah, that's that's right or that's wrong, but at least you'll have something as opposed to just not having anything. So save your work. And what does this cover? So the red stuff, it will definitely cover. So electric fields and forces, current resistance, and along with that, DC circuits. So finding the current, resistance, or voltage across different pieces in a circuit kind of thing. So there may be some capacitance, inductance, some magnetism bits definitely be in there, like finding the magnetic field or magnetic force, stuff like that. And then the reflection and refraction will also be on there. I'm not going to be trying to take anything that's really obscure or random. I'm not trying to screw anybody up, so make sure that you have a good grasp of the main stuff before moving on to the random examples. And yeah, so like I said, I'll be sending this out. And for now, it is time for any questions, comments, concerns y'all might have. So what do you got?
Didi, I have a question. So when we do like in Cengage, when we do like 3.53 times 10 to the negative, let me say 21, it won't let me, like, how do I put that in there directly? Like,
Okay, so that's a good question. let's see. So the correct way, if I understood what you're saying, is, so let's say your answer is 123,456 or something. This is the same thing as 1.23456 and times 10 to the 1, 2, 3, 4. Is this what you're talking about?
Yes, sir.
So the way you do it is you can straight up put the number if you wanted to, but the suggested way is figure out how many significant figures you want. Most answers it's like 3. So 1.23, and then 10 to the 5, you write it as lowercase e and either plus or minus 5. So in this case, it's plus 5. But this is the scientific notation that we would use in here. So times 10 to the thing, to whatever power, is e, and then if the power is plus or minus, and then the number. Okay. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Awesome, awesome. Good question. One suggestion is check your units. So pretty much all of these equations, unless specifically stated otherwise, they use the basic unit of that thing. So like taking it back to first semester, F equals mg. So the force of gravity is equal to mass times little g. Mass has to be in its natural state. And mass is the weird one because its natural state is kilograms. But all the other ones have to be in meters or seconds or coulombs. So you can't put in if this weighs, or if its mass is, you find it to be equals 3 grams times g is 9.8 meters per second squared. The answer is not, I'm rounding, but 30 newtons. Let's say this is 10, just to make sure that works. That's wrong because this needs to be in kilograms. So you convert it to kilograms, and that is 0.03 kilograms times 10 meters per second squared equals 0.03 newtons. So before, and this is probably half of the time students come to me asking, why they got something wrong. Their math, the steps are actually usually right. It's they put the wrong number in to the equation. They put it in a different unit. So make sure that you are using correct units. Otherwise, you're going to have issues. That's just, very big suggestion, because you might get it wrong and then you'll spend a bunch of time being like, what? That's the right way to do it. I don't understand. And it'll just be wasted time just because you forgot to convert or something. So, yeah. All right. What else? Nothing else, huh? Don't want to know about any kinds of examples or questions, or everybody's good. Don't believe you, but hey, if everybody gets 100%, then I won't be upset. Maybe a little surprised, but not upset for sure. But I would suggest using this time to your advantage. If you're afraid of asking a question and looking silly for some reason in front of other people, you can text it to me on that, in the Zoom group chat. You can send me a private message.
Dr. Dan, are you gonna send us that copy of the outline of the final exam? So we can a study guide or something?
That Word document?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna send that out. It's, mainly trying to think about like the main equations and relationships in each of these sections. Like what's and I'm not going to go through all of them because this is going to be open notes. So, you have all the access to them. But look at the big examples. It could also help if you go back and look at the review notes that I posted for especially the earlier tests that are a little bit further removed. Look at those and if it was on one of those tests, it, you know, very well might be on the final. But even more simply, again, I'm not going to create some ridiculous example that is, you know, intended to mess you up. I'm looking at the fundamental, the basic idea of these sections. So as long as you can understand and apply those fundamental concepts, you'll be good. So try not to like memorize so much stuff, because you're going to have your notes with you. So it's, you know, it's just not worth racking yourself trying to memorize this stuff if you can look it up. But knowing what to look up is the more important part. Yeah, I'm sending out this little document, and I will be also putting it on Genzabar under resources with everything else. So what you got? What you got? What you want to know? Please speak now, forever hold your peace. I would definitely say by Friday, please come in with some questions. Otherwise, it's not going to be a very helpful review.
Is there gonna be like any multiple choice on the test, or everything we're gonna have to work out?
So there's going to be a mix. That's a good question. Kind of like in the past, where I have some concept questions that are often multiple choice, or you know, pick all that apply kind of thing. There will definitely be some of those, and some of the other ones. A good rule of thumb is I would expect around, again, this is not a, you know, a direct quote, I would expect around 2 of each kind of question from each test, basically. So from test 1, you'll have 2 concept questions and 2 math work it out type questions. That's probably a pretty good estimation. So you will have plenty of concept oriented questions, as well as the mathy ones. All right. What else we got? Here for you guys. All right. Well, since we're running down on time, look over the doc I send, and please come up with some ideas of stuff that you would like to talk about and go over for Friday. That way we can, give you guys any last minute help that you need. Otherwise, yeah, and that's all we've got for right now. So keep an eye out for that email, and I will send out emails whenever the final gets posted. All right, so y'all come see me if you got any questions. Otherwise, have a great rest of your day.